My name is Sarah Johnson. I am the executive director here at the Hope Project.
And I'm Jennifer Goings, and I'm the operations coordinator with the whole project.
And our mission is to support the healing of girls and women who have survived sex trafficking and prevent further cases through mentoring and education. And our vision is to end the suffering of sex trafficking. And so we'll work with women who were trafficked as children and we're helping them in that healing journey. And we work with those who are immediately out of a trafficking situation and those who could be really vulnerable to it, and we want to prevent that from happening. So, our services, we have a lot of different things that we do here. We have case management, we have advocates that work with our clients, we have a home for adult survivors of sex trafficking, we have recovery coaching, we have recovery groups, we do support groups, we have a mentor program for survivors and also vulnerable youth. And we're working to open up a home for youth survivors of sex trafficking. And then we provide a lot of resources, referrals. So we have a hygiene pantry here for those who are in our program. We also have a shower and laundry facility here as well. And so we want to make sure if anyone is in need of those services, they're going to be able to access those. So before we started using ClickBid, I think maybe even the first year we used, we had donation envelopes on the tables. And because that's how we knew how to do a fundraiser, right? But then when we started talking more with ClickBid and they talked about ways people give and streamlining your donations through the software and having adding an auctioneer, we have seen donations increase significantly. So from 2022 to just last year, we have increased our net income 326% using ClickBid. And a lot of that is taking your guys' advice. And using an auctioneer, having a live auctioneer, having everything go through one I guess server, you would say, versus having multiple different ways to give that can be kind of confusing. So we streamlined it and made it more simple for those who are coming at the event. And we talk specifically about items or things that we need at our organization that they can give to. And that's when they're raising the paddles up because we're saying, hey, we need this much money for equine therapy, or we need this much money for utilities for our house. And so people want to give to those specific needs. And so it's increased donations.
As we've said before many, many times, storytelling really is the key. And not only do we need to be good storytellers, but we need to be able to convey that story to our auctioneer so that way they have an understanding and a connection. We have found that partnering with the same auctioneer every single year has made dividends for us and such a benefit because he knows our mission. He knows what we're connected to and what we are doing with our money. And so he's been able, just in the live auction items and being able to explain this exact amount is going to give back to the whole project in this way, really disconnects the donors to what they're giving and why. So it's been a huge benefit. It was a barrier at first. We were like, oh, we got to spend money to make more money. This sounds weird. But we have just found that just being obedient and choosing that has been a huge benefit for us.
I'm just thinking about one of my friends who I brought to the ball, and they're at my table, and the auctioneer was talking about all the different things that the money goes to, and he was like, "Dang, I need to save money for this event for next year," because he wanted to give more money, but he only had so much. He's like, I need to save my money up for this event so I can raise my paddle because he saw everybody else's paddles going up. He wanted to raise it, but he didn't have the money to do so. Just hearing him say, I need to save money so I can give for this event, I think that's huge. Because I think before, if you just said, give whatever you'd like to with an envelope, he would get, whatever it was that he was set to give. But then you have someone challenging you to give, and you see other people, and you're like, oh, if they give that, then I want to give it too. It makes the event really fun. And then it brings out the joy of giving.
One thing that's also been beneficial that I have found to be of benefit is corresponding the monthly giving. So with ClickBid, you guys have the option to where if they can't give at the event specifically, they can set up monthly donations. And while we already have that on our website, it's helpful for those that are at the event to really be in the moment and say, you know what, I want to commit to that. And I have the option to do that on a monthly basis. Maybe I want to give $500, but I can't do it right now. But I know I can give in this way on a monthly basis, and then I can end it at any time. Well, because if you think about, like, you guys probably all have experienced it, where you go to a church event and they Compassion for Christ is like, give $1 for a month and you get to adopt a child. It would be the same thing if we were to do that live event stream, where it's, you may not be able to give a whole big amount today, but just giving $1 for the next 12 months, that's $12 that you're giving towards the Hope Project. That you might find someone that is just sitting there not knowing what we do, but feeling compelled to give, and maybe the $1 is all they can give that day. Just giving people options, not just the bigger spenders, but those that are really watching just to see what we're all about. And they say, I want to give, but I can't give a lot. It gives them the opportunity to give even in a way that fits them.
Well, of course, our event is coming up. That's going to be November 7th this year. It's going to be a diamond theme because there's our diamond anniversary with our 10 years celebrating the ball. So we have that coming up, and then being more in Newaygo County. That's also, on the horizon. And then eventually we would love to bring in a social media person, we're an expert, so we can have more videos and share more what we're doing in the community so we can get the word out. We want to help more survivors and bring in more partners.
Right now, it's the good growing pains. Really just figuring out, this is how it worked when we were very small and a small group of people, but what do we need to do and what infrastructure needs to be changed in order for us to be effective in doing things with excellence. And so that's where a lot of our time has been spent, is really just internal, building our team and making sure that we are well fed here. So that way, when we do go out into the community, we are equipped with the right tools and resources, so that when people do come to us, we can give them everything that they need. With the growth of these events has grown a need for bigger donor relations. We've been able to really, as a small pool of donors, be able to keep good relations with them. But our donor pool has really grown, not just in the quantity, but the amount of money that they are giving as well. So we really want to keep those relationships really tight. And so that's where the transition has happened with us too, having a full-time committed donor relations person that is committed to meeting them for coffee and really thanking them for what they have provided to us over the years. And that has already spoken a lot to our donors coming back and just saying, we value what they bring to the table and they value what we bring to the table. And so it's just become a very mutual, beneficial relationship.
Yeah, I know we can't do what we do without them, and they're instrumental in what we do. And we do see them as partners, not just someone who gives, but like, we got to do this together. Otherwise, we don't exist. And so it's really important that we cultivate those relationships and they hear what's happening here too. Yeah. So we love ClickFed, and especially that relational piece. We were actually talking earlier, there was another organization that we could have gone with, but we're like, we don't want to because we know the people at ClickFed. So we really appreciate that. And you guys are just so willing and kind when we struggle sometimes. We love that about you guys, that you're just willing. Anything that we need, you're right there to help us out. I know Jen has a lot more experience working directly with you guys, so I'll let you share.
So I will say one thing that people tend to struggle with when we are coming into an organization, people want it to be, there's professional courtesy, and then there is that individual personal touch. And that is something that I've seen that you guys have really brought that's so different from other organizations. Some people are just like, get on a Zoom, it's nothing personal, and it's very, okay, let's get to the point. I know we've experienced that with some of our other platforms that we utilize for case management. But when I get on a Zoom with you guys, we're talking about life. That is the first 5 minutes is, how are things going? Like, oh, I just moved. Oh, I just got a cat. Oh, giving that personal touch has been a huge benefit to me because it makes me feel more invested in what you guys are doing, because I can sense that you guys are invested in what we're doing. You guys care about what we do, and I can sense that not just in what Sarah said with you guys, but you also care about us as people. And that is a huge thing. That's something that just separates you guys from every other organization that we've worked with from a platform perspective. Because when you think about technology, you think, oh, they're, maybe not very socially in that place where they're just like, I know my spot and I know I'm really good at what I do, but you guys also have that social aspect and you really care about your people, not just about the organization, but the people within it.
And you guys give good feedback as well. Like, you'll tell us when, hey, you left money on the table. You could have done this other ask and more people would have given. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so right. We missed it. But then next year we added it. So we appreciate that. And that's part of how we have grown 300% using ClickBit, because we're taking your advice because you guys are experienced in it.
On the other side of that too, when I have given feedback, because I do have a little bit of technology experience, I say, hey, I'm noticing a little bit of a glitch. They're like, you are so right. I'm going to bring that right to production. And they're like, yep, we switched it, we changed it. And it was so quick, and the turnover of that is huge, because just as much as we want to be receptive to your guys' professionalism, you guys are also receptive of making sure that your guys' platform is operating with excellence. Yeah, and that's the thing, is you hear your people, because I might just be talking off the cuff with Erin about things of like, gosh, I really wish this, and she's like, I actually know how to do that. Like, let's put it together and let's make it happen.
Yeah.
And so that's been a huge benefit for sure. Yeah, and you guys have always been very transparent about your limitations too. Like you said, like, we don't have the bandwidth for that, but we know that that's something that is in the works, something that we want to have happen. But you guys are very good about not biting off more than you can chew.